going to show you how easy it is to light your tree. The number of people who come in here, and I actually find it's often the men who get stuck lighting the tree, and they look at me like, Anyway, this is just really easy. I've got a 2.28 metre or 7.5 foot tree here, so you can see it's much taller than me. So I want to show you how we can light that without a ladder as well, all right? You don't need to make life difficult. It's all about making it easy. I'm showing you our lighting system. So the idea with these lights is that you can connect up to 10 strings of lights off one transformer. However, if you already have lights at home, use them. The key to it is that we're going to divide the tree into sections. So it doesn't matter if you've got your own lights and you have different power points, or if you buy individual lights. But the only time this won't work, this system, is if you've got, say, 3 different types of lights. You know, over time you bought one that's white, one that's more creamy colour, one that's multicolour. Then clearly you don't want that striped around your tree. Other than that, if you've got the same sorts of lights, just use what you've got. You don't need to buy a new system. What I've done today is I'm going to start with just two strings. I'm just going to show you part of the tree, and show you how you would do it for the entire tree. For this size tree, if I was lighting it for myself at home, I'd probably have 500 lights on it. You'd probably get away with 300 to 600, all right? So it depends if you've got more lights, and if you look at the photo that I had on Facebook, a lot of you might have seen that. Excuse me. That tree of mine actually had 1,000 lights. It was a bit bigger than this, and it had also lights round through the middle, which I'll tell you about as well. And remind me if I don't mention it. One sec, sorry. So, these strings, what's easy about these lights is they're 10-metre cords. So try and stay away from the really long sets of lights, because you do find that they're going to make your life difficult. They're more likely to not. I'm going to need Camille to take over in a sec, because I'm going to have a coughing fit. But what we want to do, the way we light the tree, I want to take the top off and do the top first. So, excuse me while I have a drink. Well, do you want me to start with the end? Yeah, start with the end. So you can see, rather than getting up a ladder to do the top of the tree, we take the top off. And what we're doing, I'm going to come over this side so you guys can see me while Camille does that. You don't need to see me, TJ. Is we're dividing the tree into sections long ways, depending on how many sets of lights you have. Just so you know, this is going to be on Facebook Live to look at too. Feel free to video, but you can go to Facebook afterwards and watch this anytime you want. So if, for example, I said I had 400 sets of 400 lights, I would divide the tree into 4 sections. If the back of my tree is not being seen, I'm not going to bother lighting the back of it. Okay? Save your lights. That's the disadvantage of winding the lights around, that you waste lights that you don't see. So when we put some lights on the tree topper like that, of course we've used part of our first string. So when we section off the rest of the tree, we're only going to use a little bit. So what's Camille got left there? She's only got a very small amount of light left here. So we just wind that down a small section of the tree. It's not going to be a quarter of the tree. So basically what I'm saying is, if you light the top of your tree, then your first section is going to be much smaller. And then you divide the other 3 sections evenly, as I say, if you're doing 300 lights. Camille, do you want to set the other? So let's do, if we're there for dividing this tree into 4 sets of lights, Camille's going to run the other set of lights roughly down this section of tree to get coverage. Sorry about this coughing. So stop. Always at the wrong time. Has anyone got questions as we're doing this? And do anyone use this method for lighting?
Do you ever push the lights further into the tree?
Good question. If you want a more heavily lit tree, then yes, you can. What I find the difference, we all look at all the beautiful American trees, they've got 1,000, 1,500 lights on them.
Right.
We have 300 lights on our trees, so therefore it's just the outer.
Right.
Let me just, TJ, could you just turn around to this and I'll just show you. This is the tree that was in the photograph in Facebook. It's a very open tree, so this is the tree I've got at home, taller variety. Being open, we did wind the lights in and out.
Yep.
Okay, so we still sectioned,
Yep.
but we took them in and out through the tree. And to do that, when you get to this point, you just kind of use the back of the branch to hold them. But what we also did with that tree, because of its openness, we have garland lights that are very close together. And I decided, because I have an eclectic mix that I bought all when we've travelled, so I put multicolour lights around the pole. So as I built the tree up, I wound lights through the pole. So those lights in the middle twinkled. Everything else is static in a warm white. Just gave a little bit more interest to the tree. So that tree actually had probably 2,000 lights on it. Not what I'd normally do, but boy, did it look good. Okay, so that's the sort of thing you can also build up when you're... Yeah, so if you, and that's right, Camille's saying if you've got any left over and you're not sure what to do, you can always just run them through the tree. The other thing that looks nice, as I said, the twinkling static, if you want to put more lights on the tree, with the two, if we come back, come down to this, you actually have two, so we've already got one in there with lights on it, you actually have two hands with 5 threads each, and each of these controllers is run separately. So you could run some lights twinkling off one set, or again, if you own your own lights and you have some that you can set to twinkling, if you wanted to set their menu tree a little bit, just to add that little bit of interest without it being in your face, you could do that, and then you can run the static over the top. But you see how quickly Camille has put that on, the tree? You don't need to get pedantic. People worry about the cords being seen and stuff. People ask us all the time, are they pre-lit trees? No, that's what we do when we light the trees here. When you decorate, if you've got a cord that's showing, then you might play around and you push it into your tree at that point. But you don't need to worry too much about it then. It's more about sectioning so you get it even, and then being brave enough to put more lights on. If you want it to look like that photo, you've got to put more lights on.
After or before you do that bit?
Oh, you mean for the inside?
Yeah, so if you wanted more lights, like for that, you've just wound them on the outside quickly.
So therefore, if I wanted more lights, I would therefore have a smaller section. I'd be doing exactly the same thing, but as you say, they'd be coming in and out of the tree a bit more. So I would be, rather than having 4 sections, I'm now going to have 8 sections.
Yes. Okay.
And therefore I've got more cords so I can push the light further in as I work it.
But you're still really just winding them.
Still
in one
winding,
section.
yep, that's right. And then just going back and pulling it in. And see how I just lifted the branch up to kind of push them back? Just so that I can get a closer view of them. Yeah. And then if you want it, as I said, if your tree is more open, quite a few of ours are quite dense. It works really well with the Cambridge, which has got the sweeping in and out, the Melbourne. If you wanted to have those garland lights around the middle, then as you actually build the tree up, you just lay the lights on it. You know. So that is something you do wind around.
Yeah.
The garland lights?
Yeah, around the middle.
Clustered ones?
Yeah. Yeah, we ran them through as we built the tree up. Camille does. Camille had to go to my house and light last year because I didn't have time. Any other questions? Like, does that make sense? Oh, Camille's got a point to make.
Making the snakes also makes it easy to take off the tree.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The end of it, and wind your lights around a piece of cardboard. That's all you need. Then they don't get knotted. Yeah. So keep it simple.
And
Keep
how
it
long
simple.
did you say the maximum length you should really use?
We use the 10 metre. We have got longer lights that we have available from our supplier, and I tell you, it used to do my head in. The 30 metre lights, I would be so frustrated that I've just stopped buying them.
For the people who are really wanting it specifically even, when you know you've only got 400 lights but it's in 100 metre increments, you know exactly that you've split it into 4 when you're covering the tree.
Yeah. Yeah, so 10 metre just doesn't seem to knot. You can manage it. You can see how quick you can throw it on. Oh, and the other thing I didn't say is have your lights on. As you do it, keep your lights on. Then you can take a stand back. Now, obviously, I've just adjusted all this, but you can stand back, see how it looks at a glance. And remember, again, people get quite fastidious. You're going to have decorations going on if you do this. Don't worry about one light here, there. You stand back and you very quickly see if there's a gap, and then you adjust your branch and push it in and out and up and down or whatever you need to fill the gap. But other than that, by doing that system, it's very easy. You're never going to get away from kind of that snaky look if you don't have enough lights. So if you're trying to light a tree this big and put 200 lights on it, then it's going to look like snakes of lights. That's just a fact, and that's fine. But and the other thing with the connectable sets is you can always start with a certain number of lights and add to them. And so that means that, again, sometimes it's an investment over a couple of years rather than all up front.
What about the real Christmas trees?
I have real Christmas trees in exactly the same way. Obviously, don't take the top off.
That'd be harder.
So you're going to have a ladder. I had to do a photo shoot with real tree. We don't deal with them often, but I did exactly the same thing with the lights.
Pipe cleaners.
What do you do?
Pipe cleaners to
What-
get sometimes when you have uneven trees and you're trying to get the lights to sit evenly, pipe cleaners help you to do what we do with our wide branches.
Okay. Otherwise, consider them artificial. You'll never go back. We have beautiful smelling substitutes. As I said to you, it is on Facebook Live too. We keep the recording on there. So if you have questions when you go back and look at it again, please just ask us or anyone on there who's got questions. We'll keep monitoring this over the next week.
Lovely smelling sticks.
Yeah, we have lovely smelling sticks. Hangers. And it is a funny point though. We've had a couple of girls. Camille was one of them who, no, real trees, that's the only way I would go. And she's changed.
Someone was asking, do you put the lights on before or after the decoration?
Excellent question. Yes, decorate after you put the lights on. Build your tree up. So the only time you have to worry about the lights, so you're asking about going around, see how we're not going around the tree now. If you're doing those lights around the inside, then you would put them on as you built the tree. Otherwise, you set your tree up, then light it, then decorate it.
So the tree behind you looks like it goes up and down.
That's a different tree. That's a cone tree. So it's actually sort of an outdoor tree. And we just wind them around however we want to just get fullness. So you generally wouldn't see that other than night time because it would be out in the garden or something. So yeah, Camille has wound that one up and down from the looks of things. And that might...
The cone tree actually comes apart into two pieces, so quite often we're winding it so that we can pull it apart and then put it back together and join it in the middle.
Yeah, so we don't have to then rewire it afterwards. And that's also not done at the back so that we haven't wasted lights. At the
None
back
of your artificial Christmas trees ever died in the middle of the night and dropped all of my expensive decorations onto the floor.
No, we don't do that. So yeah, please, another question.
How many lights would you recommend for the Melbourne tree?
Okay, so what we would recommend, so this is a 7.5 foot tree. The Melbourne comes in two heights. So just in general terms for you, we do have a brochure and it is online. If you sign up to our VIP My Christmas, which is just our membership, which you probably all are if you receive the emails, there is a section with our brochure that you pick up here in store, just so everyone knows online as well. So you can get that brochure. A 2 metre tree, 1.98 metre tree or 6.5 feet. If it was at home, normally 200 to 300 lights. This size tree, as I say, if it was me at home, I used to have this height tree and I had 400 lights on it. So you could go 300 to 500 lights. Then as you get higher, you need more lights. So, you know, if you want it to look well covered, you do need to go for a few more, but you can, as long as you go with sort of 300, you're not going to get too much snaking on a tree that size. And the Melbourne comes in the two heights. So, yeah. Any other questions? I'm around here for a while, so please feel free to ask me, or any of the girls, they all know how to work the lights. And as you're getting closer to Christmas, if you've got questions, Facebook, send us a message. We're always here to help. We like to give you the information so you can, you know, make everything look beautiful and stress-free. That's what we're all about. If there's a simple way of doing it, we'll find it. So thanks for coming along and yeah, enjoy your visit. Thanks.